Hello everyone. So, who I'm gonna talk about is the most famous poet in Chinese history. He lived through Tang Dynasty. His name is Li Bai. Li Bai was not a drunk genius. He was a cultivated rebel. Everybody loves the story of the drunk genius, the artist who drink too much, break the rules, rinse off the powerful, ignore society, and somehow creates immortal work. In the West, you may think of the Lord Byron or Rimbaud, or some rock star who looks like who he has not slept since 1979, but somehow become the voice of a generation. In China, the ultimate version of this myth is Li Bai, the poet who drinks, laughs, writes like the moon is personally texting him, the poet who seems too wide for ordinary life. There is even famous image of him. Li Bai drinks a whole measure of wine and writes 100 poems. He sleeps in taverns in the capital. The empire calls him and he refused to get on the boat. He say, I'm the immortal of wine. That's incredible branding. Honestly, many artists would pay a marketing team millions for image that good. But here's the problem. If we only remember him as a drunk genius, we misunderstand him. He was not great because he had no discipline. He was great because he made discipline invisible. His whiteness was not ignorance, it was mastery disguised as freedom. Li Bai was not an uneducated genius, he was a cultivated rebel. This mattered because modern culture love a lazy idea of genius. We like to imagine genius mean not study, not preparing, not caring, just pure inspiration falling from the sky. And one day, the universe says, "Congratulations, you're talented. Please ruin your life beautifully." But real genius really doesn't work like that. Real genius come from terrifying amounts of absorption, reading, listening, imitating, falling, remembering, studying so deeply that eventually the study disappears. The highest skill often looks like no skill. His phone feel effortless. It feel like someone opened a window and the Milky Way walked in. But behind that freedom is culture, behind that wine memory, behind the madness is technique, behind the immortal is a man who knows exactly what kind of myths he was building. So why does he look so white? He created a persona that could survive history. He did not write poems, he wrote Li Bai. That's one of the most important things to understand about him. He didn't simply leave behind text, he left behind a character. The wandering poet, the wine immortal, the man who speaks to the moon, the man who refused to become a normal official, the man who seems to belong more to clouds, river, mountains, stars than of office and paperwork. Every culture has this figure, the artist who become larger than his art. Byron was not just a poet, he became Byronic. Rimbaud was not just a teenager poet, he became a symbol of rebellion. Jim Morrison was not just a singer, he became a rock shaman. That work mattered, but the persona also became part of the work. Li Bai understand this before modern celebrity culture. He built a poetic identity so powerful that even now, over 1,000 years later, people don't just read him. They imagine him drinking under the moon, riding on a boat, laughing at power, falling into legend. That's not accident. That's cultural performance. Performance is not the same thickness. When I see Li Bai perform for freedom, I don't mean he was fake. He turned freedom into art. A fake person pretends, a great artist transform. Li Bai transferred drinking into transcendence. He transferred travel into cosmic wandering. He transferred failure in official life into spiritual superiority. He transferred social awkwardness into myth. He is just unemployed and making poor choices. He ignored the emperor become legend because he has already built the symbolic world must in which the art act makes sense. If an ordinary man breaks a rule, he's rude. If Levi breaks a rule, he becomes mythology. That's not lack of culture. That's culture working at the highest level. People imagine Levi as a white man outside palace, but one of the most fascinating moments in his life is when he entered the imperial world. Think about the scene. The emperor is there. Yang Guifei is emperor's wife. Is there, the most famous beauty of the age. Pennies are blooming, music is playing. The town court wants luxury, elegance, atmosphere, praise. Levi is summoned to write. This is a dangerous moment for any poet. When power asks for poetry, usually wants decoration, wants art to become perfume. He wants language to make power look beautiful. What does he do? He writes 清平道. And the first line is one of the most famous lines. Clouds make one think of her garments. Flower make one think of her face. This is not simply she beautiful. He makes naturally self-respond to her. Clouds means become clothing, flower become face, spring wind become touch, dew become radiance. Then he moves her beyond the palace. If she not seen on the mountain of immortals, then surely she must be found at the moon on a jade terrace. Yang Guifei is no longer only a woman standing in town court. She is relocated into mist. That's Levi's genius. The emperor asks for praise. Levi delivered mythology. Power wanted a core poem. Levi turned her core into material for immortality. A crude genius can't write that. A merely drunk man can produce a level of cultural control. 金品道 is precision, courtly, graceful, full of classical and mythological resonance. It flatters, but it also elevates. That's the subtle power of art under power. On the surface, Levi is serving the emperor, but deeper level, the empire, Yang Guifei, the pennies, palace, the whole emperor thing, all of the enters Levi's poetic universe. Who is using who? Power had the poet to decorate the court. The poet turned the court into material for his own immortality. That's a quiet revenge of art. The palace is gone, the political moment is gone, body gone, dynasty, selfie gone. But the line remains. That's a poet victory. He wanted recognition, office, influence. He wanted to matter in real political world. So we shouldn't turn him into a modern anti-establishment cartoon. He was not simply saying, I hate society and I want to drink under the moon. That's too easy. Levi wanted both. He wanted worldly success and cosmic freedom. He wanted the empire to recognize him, but also wanted to remain larger than the empire system. That contradiction is what makes him human. Very modern. How many artists do you feel this? You want the institution to praise you, but you don't want to be honored by it. You want success, but you don't want to become small. You want access to the palace, but you still want to belong to the moon. That's Levi. He's not outside ambition. He's inside ambition, fighting not to be reduced by it. That's the real meaning of his freedom. His freedom not doing whatever he wants. That's childish. His freedom's ability to enter in many words and not be contained by any of them. The court can't contain him. The wine ship, mountains, official failure can contain him. The category of human poet can contain him. So Chinese culture call him a poet immortal. The title is not just phrase, it's an interpretation. It means Levi poetic persona is always slightly outside the human order. He appears in the world, but don't fully belong to it. That's why his poems feel airborne. Even when he is sad, there is altitude. When he falls, there is radiance. When he's alone with the moon, not alone in the room checking his phone at 2 a.m. Also, to be here, if Levi had a phone, he would absolutely text the moon, and the moon would probably leave him unread. Then he would write a masterpiece. The Western romantic rebel often defines himself against society. Levi is more complicated. His imagination comes from Taoist transcendence, Confucian vision, classical learning, culture, and personal mythology are all mixed together. He's not simply saying myself. He's saying I contain mountain, star, immortal, Asian noises, one empire, moonlight, and somehow all of that is myself. That's why translating him as only romantic is not enough. He's not just romantic. He's mythological. He's mythological. He doesn't merely express emotion, enlarge yourself until it becomes a landscape. In Levi, the self is the universe. Was Levi an uneducated genius? No, the image is attractive, but it is false, incomplete. Levi was well, but not because he lacked a culture. He was well because he had mastered culture so deeply that he could move through it like he knows tradition, he knows performance, he knows mythology. He knows how to flatter power, escape power, turn failure into radiance. He knows how to make learning look like instinct. It's refined until it looked raw, not ignorant, cultivated until cultivation disappeared, not undisciplined, disciplined enough to make freedom believable. Modern culture often tells us authenticity means being unfiltered. See whatever you want, break every rule, be chaotic, call it genius. He shows something more difficult. True freedom is not the absence of form. True freedom is what happens after form has entered your bone. A dancer looks free because discipline is invisible. A great musician improvises because years of structure are already inside the body. A poet sounds natural because language has been absorbed so deeply that I no longer feel nerd. He made culture look drunk. He made tradition look like flight. He made discipline look like moonlight. More than 1,000 years later, we don't remember him as a scholar in library, even though the library was inside him. We remember him as a man raising a cup under the moon. We, we Now we should understand the image better. The cup is not proof that he had no discipline. The moon is not proof that he escaped culture. The wilderness is not emptiness, it's mastery. Levi was not the poet who wrote because he knew nothing. He was the poet who wrote as if everything he knew had become wind. And maybe that's the highest kind of genius. Not to show the weight of your learning, but to make it fly. Yeah, that's a episode. Thanks for listening.